first guest today is one of stand-up's biggest stars. Since he threw his hat into the comedy ring back in 2003, he's been showing audiences the funny side of life by telling them all about his slightly neurotic and compulsive personality. Some say he's a pessimist, but he still brings a smile to our faces with stories like this. Please welcome Jon Richardson.
I'm not scared, I'm fine. Well, your kinky chat out of the way before I came out, yeah?
Yeah.
No, we're starting it again now.
Oh, are we? Excellent, good.
So what do you make of that, then, the research that says that, you know, women like imagery as much as men do?
If not more.
Well, I would say that's right, though, isn't it? I'd say, you know, there's always takes two to tango, so to speak. So
yeah.
I love the idea that...
Sex, love, not dancing, pet.
Ah, you haven't seen how I dance.
You haven't seen how he has sex?
There's a rhythm involved. I love the idea that you don't have enough backstory on your... Like, as if you're watching porn going, that washing machine's not really broken.
No, I don't,
You
because
just need to change the filter. I can't buy into this.
See, I think I'd like to see how the washing machine broke in the first place. A bit of build-up.
Yeah.
Need a bit of story.
And I'd like to see what tiles they have in their utility room. Yeah, you see?
Yeah, but you see, you would kick off if men made pornography that was women doing the washing first. You'd be like, they're only aroused by watching us do the washing. You go, we just want to see how the machine broke.
Do you get embarrassed talking about sex?
It's not on telly when my nan's watching, yeah.
Do you think men in general are embarrassed in front of women, I suppose?
I think there's a lot of... when you do a survey like that, there's a lot of women are obliged to answer a certain way.
And men... You're saying we lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jon,
Consistently.
Do you think you maybe talk about it too much? Because you've been quite open about the fact that you're not doing it very much.
We're
a little bit worried.
Is it 8 years or something?
It's been, yeah, clock's
long time.
ticking.
Why?
Listen, I've been there 7 years. 7 years I went without, and now
Yeah, but at least you've made up for lost time, Jon.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that? You're looking for a girlfriend.
I don't see it's one of... I think it's like going to the cinema. Like, it's nice if you do it, but if you don't, it's just because you were doing other stuff.
Well, you've said in your book, which I think is a brilliant title, it's not me, it's you. Which I think maybe explains why you're single. But no, one of the things you say in it is that, you know, people make too much about the whole thing, about how long it's been since you had sex. You might have been busy doing things like going to the cinema.
Yeah.
You watch a lot of films.
Specific type of film, perhaps. Yeah, I find it odd, the whole relationship thing, I just find there's so much you can do in the world that it's baffling that everyone focuses on that, but you can't be happy.
But you strive for perfection, don't you, in your life? This is one of your, would you say, neuroses, really, that you're quite open and very funny about.
That you haven't got a girlfriend is that you're too much of a perfectionist.
Yeah, I think... Well, no, it's more the other way around. It's more... Everyone talks about looking for the one, but you're also kind of expecting yourself to be the one for someone else, and I know myself too well to think there's a woman out there where I say, I'm your best chance, love. I'm the one for you. I find that's quite a cocky thing to say, that of all the men in the world, I am your best chance of happiness.
I mean, I have to say, we're laughing about the cover, it's not me, it's you, but actually it's got quite a deep meaning behind it, because basically you're saying, you know, I don't love you anymore, and you can cry as much as you like, but nothing's going to change that fact. That's basically what you've said in the book, and that's kind of to the point and quite deep and personal, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think people don't, you know, at the end of relationships, people think they're being kinder by sugaring the pill and saying, oh, it's not you, it's me, but really that just means that person goes, well, I can't do anything about that, I can't change that. So it's much more honest to say, it's just over, it's finished, I hate you.
Do you believe that love exists, though? Do you believe that it could happen for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think it's one of those things that, you know, that's the point of view from someone who's been single for 8 years. But as soon as you meet someone... Like, I don't feel bad saying that, because I know anyone who is in love would just look at me and go, you sad idiot. You know, when you're in love, it's all that you think about.
Do you think you might have to lighten up a little bit, though? Because you are a bit pedantic, aren't you, about, you know, tidiness and things.
I sort of rather think that rather than me lightening up, everyone would just do stuff
Do what
properly.
you do. There you go.
Would you look for somebody who's the same as you, or somebody who's the opposite of you?
I think I would end up killing both. I think there has to be...
But is it compulsive, John, to the point that you, like, have to have the beans in that, like, you know, that sort of compulsive behaviour?
Yeah, genuinely, but that's right, though, isn't it? If you're putting tins away, have them facing you so you can see what's in the tin.
I think that's fair enough.
It's exciting because you're like, oh, what's in that one? You see? They're all fun and you're like, yeah, exactly. Just put your hand in the cupboard. Sometimes there's things that are off in there. It's great.
Brilliant. Do you know, and if you take all the labels off, you never know what you're going to get. It's fabulous. Now you're going to Now, John, you're a little bit more in your comfort zone, an 8 out of 10 cats, aren't you? Are you enjoying that? Let's have a little clip of you in action.
A book came out this week that talked about the extent of the rivalry between them and the fact they haven't really spoken since, and it's actually a lot worse than it was reported at the time. At the time, David went, no, I'm really pleased for him. Brilliant.
It would be more of a surprise if they'd really got on and, like, because you can't... The alternative to them not being at work together is them doing it together, like Jedward on the dispatch box. Like, I'm David, and I'm Edward. I was Deadwood. Here.
So you've taken over from Jason Manford on the show.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying it? It's good?
Yeah, it's great. Wearing a jacket, like a proper grown-up.
Did they make you wear that?
No, I decided. I said, if I'm going to be a captain, I'm going to wear a jacket.
How do you feel on that show, though? It's so competitive, isn't it? I've done it, and I hardly said anything because the comedians were all like, blah, 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 blah,
yeah, no,
being funny.
It baffles me that... I mean, you must feel... It baffles me that that's become the perception of comics, and Rachel Riley was on last night, and she was great, and she's intelligent, and she's funny, and she said, I was really intimidated, and I find it baffling that people are frightened of comedians now. I think it's quite a new thing. And a comedian should be there so that you would feel comfortable saying anything, and together
comedians
we'll make it
en
funny.
masse, I think they're scared of.
Yeah, well, that's the nice thing about 8 out of 10 Cats is you get people who aren't comics, so there is time to have a conversation, and the other ones...
Well, John, one place that there's comedians en masse is, of course, Edinburgh. You're going to be doing your tour that you're going to do Edinburgh. It's Not Me, It's You, which is all based on the book. Was that from the 20th to the 28th of August? So go and have a look at that if you fancy the sound of it. It's been lovely to meet you. Hope we haven't been too scary for you.
That's fine.
No, it's been fine.
I've
Thank
challenged some views.
you. It's Jon Richardson, everybody.